Okay guys, so this is going to be a quick intro to the Lines and Triangles project. In the last video we talked about types of triangles. We also took a look at the kinds of lines: parallel, perpendicular, perpendicular bisector, and an angle bisector. So to start, what I would recommend is somewhere on your page doing, if you want to be really straightforward, you can just do them straight across the page. I'm going to do something a little different this time and go across at a diagonal. I would recommend using your ruler and just drawing a line on both sides of your ruler. Make sure you hold the ruler down nice and tight, otherwise you'll have to start again. Okay, so now I've got parallel lines. Okay, I'll be able to see that pretty quickly. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to measure this. I get 32 centimeters. Half of 32 is going to be 16. So I'm going to make a little mark. Okay, now protractor time. Take your trusty protractor. That's hard to pick up sometimes. And I'm going to line up that little hash mark again, right with my tick, and put the long line along my parallel line. I go up to 90, make a mark. Now I know I also have to make an equilateral triangle, so I'm going to save myself some time and actually make another line at 60 degrees. So when I start here, I start at 0, go up to 60, and I'll show you why in a moment. Okay? So back to our perpendicular line. Perpendicular bisector. I line the two dots up, hold my ruler down really firm, and draw a line straight across. Got a right angle, I'm going to draw on my square. The purpose of this task is for you to get used to using the hash marks and the ticks. These two sides of my perpendicular bisector are the same. Put a tick. They're the same. Okay? We're going to have all kinds of marks on here, so don't worry if they overlap. Now, I'm going to go right to my equilateral triangle because it's right over here. So I'm going to start at that same origin, and I'm going to draw a line across the page like so. Okay? So I know that this line right here, that's how we just show an angle, is 60 degrees. Now I'm going to make an equilateral triangle. This is the hardest thing you need to do. Stay over there. So what I'm going to do, just make sure you can see what I'm doing here, is I'm going to measure up, well, let's use centimeters in Canada. I'm going to measure up, let's say, 5 centimeters. Now remember, an equilateral triangle is the same on all sides. So I'm going to measure down 5. So there's my leg, the blue one is my other leg. What I'm going to do now is just connect those two together. So now I know I've got a 5 centimeter equilateral triangle. Right there. Now you'll also know that this is an equilateral triangle and also has acute. And there is no angles bigger than 60. So I can put this on. And let's use blue for my ticks. Same, same, same. Awesome. Now, let's do a right triangle. These ones are really easy because everywhere that I have a perpendicular line is also a 90-degree angle. This one, let's make a scalene. So every line is going to be different. I'm going to do this one in red just for fun. There. So here is my right scalene triangle. How do we show that it's scalene? Each line is going to be different. Now I have a tick there, so I can just keep that as 1. This one's going to be 2. This one's going to be 3. Okay? The hardest one to find is an obtuse angle. So I would actually recommend you making an obtuse angle. Save yourself some time. Or you can find one on your sheet. Okay? Like right here, between this pink and this blue, that's an obtuse angle. Why don't we just use that? Okay, let's find out what that angle is. So if I put my protractor right to the corner, I get about 120. Is 120 bigger than 90? You bet it is. And why don't we make this one an equilateral? Not an equilateral. I already have one. Let's make this an isosceles. Two sides are the same. So we'll measure up. Let's make this one pretty big. So let's, centimeters, Mr. Paul. Thank you. Excellent. Very good. We're going to go down to 9 centimeters here. This side must be different. Right, so here's my angle right there. So that one was 9. How about 13? All right, now I line the 2 dashes up, make a line across the page. Awesome. And I messed that up. I just made it scalene, didn't I? Well, let's change it. I said 9, right? So there's 9. Let's go to 9. And remember, you can use whatever numbers you want. Doesn't matter what numbers you use. So 9 to 9. Let's do it there. There we go. That's better. There. So this now, right through here, becomes my obtuse. 2 lines, 2 lines, 1 line. Acute. Obtuse. Bigger than 90. That's an obtuse isosceles triangle. And interesting, I can also make another obtuse triangle right here. See, I've just created one. Watch it here. This triangle all the way down here, down to that line. Now this is an obtuse scalene. Okay, so that's it. You're just building out, draw some lines, find some triangles in there. The one that's going to be the hardest to do is that 60-degree, what is it? It's an equilateral acute triangle. All right, have some fun with it, guys. Take your time to color it better than I did. Okay, thank you so much.